How's it going, everyone? Welcome to one more video from 161 Powersports, and in this video we're talking about the Loncin X Wolf, the 550L model, which stands for the long version, okay? Now, you've seen the Loncin brand. It's not new to us, right? They recently launched the X Wolf 700 series in the United States. Now they've come up with the 550, which is, I think, a very, very gorgeous looking machine, and it's very powerful as well. At the same time, talking about the price, it's on sale right now for as low as $52.99. You heard it right. It's $550 on sale for $52.99. I've not seen a four-wheeler in this planet going for that cheap and that price range where, you know, you can get that power out of that machine, okay? Let's talk into details what you get for $5,299, guys. Let's look at the front. You get nice LED lights, same thing as the 700. These are all sequential turn signals. It's got nice bumper grill. It's got the winch right there. Let me see the pound rating on this. It's kind of in the back, so hang on tight. Let me take a look. It's right at 3,000 pounds. Let's look at the wheels. You get nice alloy wheels right there. All-terrain tires. Great ground clearance. I like the fact that Loncin always gives this cover, because out here in Texas with the heat, all that heat from coming off the engine comes directly to your feet, and you don't want that. So this cover actually is super, super good. I have not seen that on other four-wheelers, the 550s from Massimo or the 760s. I think that's a super cool feature. I don't think it costs them more than like $5 to add that part in there, right? But it helps out a lot. Now, they've given a lot of storage space over here. Look at this. Woo! I can stick my hand in there. As you can see, it's kind of deep. This becomes handy when you go off-road. You get your nice charging ports right here. You get two USBs and a 12-volt socket right there. Cigarette lighter. On the back, sturdy backrest and hand grips. Now, one thing good that they do about their machines, right? So if you look at the Massimo's 550, which is selling at a price point of MSRP $6,999, what they've done on the back end is push the backrest out further. Now that uses all this rack space, so you're not able to haul anything in the back. But Loncin, again, with whatever they have, they maximize the utility aspect, right? So they put this forward and still left this space open so you can carry your luggage and all that good stuff. I like the fact that it comes with storage on the back as well. Look at this. The winch manual. It's got a winch manual that comes with it, so you can just give it a read. They have like their 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, or 4,500 pound winches available. You can scan the QR code right there for any type of new models that they launch. Toolkit, hang tags for general use, disclaimers, disclosures. That's about it. That's all you get on this toolbox space, but you can use it as your own. Now, as far as towing goes, I really like the fact that it can tow 1,764 pounds. That's the manufacturer's weight rating on how much it can pull. Now, given the fact that Massimo's 550 can only pull 800 pounds, I think that's great because it can pull twice as much. So it's got a lot of power packed into it, okay? And my best part right here, look at this lights right there. These are all sequential LED lights right here. So it's got turn signals, mirrors, all of that. So if I turn on this, turn this thing on, see, look, boom. It's got that right there. Now, those are all lights. Let's see. Oh, look at the back. You've got your axle protectors over here, which is real good. CV axle is in the back, 4x4 on demand with locking differentials. Let's look at the handlebar controls. Look at this. 4-wheel drive on demand, switch it over and lock your differentials, right? So those are used in different terrains, depending on how much traction you need and how much like agile you want this 4-wheeler to be. I mean, you'd use different turf settings, right? And then it's got high and low standard features right there. So high when you when you're on flat grounds, low when you're like hauling more load. So it all boils down to traction, and this all helps so that way your clutch don't experience like high wear and tear, right? So notice engine oil every 500 kilometers. So I would say that's roughly right about like 300 miles. Right there's your dipstick. Nice cutout space. Can reach out with my hand, check the dipstick for oil level, measure it, change out the oil every 300 miles you put on it, and that's about it. That's all you got to worry about, right? Now let's talk about some actual specs on this machine. So now as far as the dimensions goes, right? This is the X Wolf 550, the long version, which is standing right at an overall length of 87.4 inches. Now the width on this machine is about like 46.9, so right about like 47 inches. Overall height is 52 inches, and you get a solid 11 inches of ground clearance, guys. That's how much you get. Wheelbase is 50.4 if you want to like haul it in your tight on space. That's your wheelbase right there. Now, as far as weight and capacity goes, it's got a curb weight of 758 pounds on the short version and 767 pounds on the long version. It's got about 6.5 gallon tank right there. And it's got a front rack that can hold about 176 pounds, and then the rear rack and your towing capability is right at about 1764. So that 176 pounds also is good for your rear rack as well. And then on top of that, you get about like 1764 pounds of towing capability. Now, as far as your displacement goes, right, it's right at about like 499.5 cc's. That's about like 30.5 cubic inches displacement. Max power is 43 horsepower generated at 7,000 RPM. Now, here's a comparison, right? MSA 550 from Massimo, that one's standing at the $6,999 price range. MSRP to that is only giving you 33 horsepower, whereas this one right here, which is not only over $1,000 less in MSRP right now with our promotional deal, it gives you staggering 10 horsepower more, which is a lot, and it tows double the weight of the MSA 550. So I can see a clear winner here. All right, so this is 2024. You got to keep up with the newer specs because we got to give the best out to our customers. So here's what it is, right? That's the Loncin X Wolf 550 for y'all. Now, talking more about torque, right? This one gives you 39 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty decent for a four-wheeler of that size and caliber. Now, as far as top speed goes, it's rated at 62 miles per hour. And now, you got to realize it's just factory recommended speed. So, it might go faster than that. It might go faster than that. Now, as far as like wheel sizes, right? Those are all 12-inch wheels. Right there. Now, on the front, you look at the shocks. The travel is about 7.5 inches, right? It's got 7.5 inches of travel, and then on the rear you get 9.1 inches of travel. Look at that. So that's the X Wolf 550. Now, good thing about this thing, we can finance it for y'all as well, as low as $100 a month, depending on the approval. We're located here in Grand Prairie, Texas. 161 Powersports. We're open here every day. We finance and ship nationwide. Now, talking about a new design power platform, right, on this thing. So this one, the Loncin liquid cooled 499.5 cc monstrous engine at that price right there. It has the HOSC. That's the new technology, high efficiency, small superpower, longer life type of engine design, which is real great for that price range. It's got multi-dimensional patented technology now. It's no joke. At $52.99, matter of fact, Loncin has like patented technology on this one. You get such as the silent tunnel integrated cylinder head, the roller rocker arms. It's got the spindle spray, piston force, back cooling, and oil and gas separation, so that way your engine life is longer, right? So that's what you get with the Loncin engine. Now, I'm always been a big fan of Loncin ever since they got out. I love the way they look. I love the designs on it and color schemes. So now this comes in this like tan with some yellow designs on it, stickers. It also comes in orange, olive green, and black. I love the black one, right? Now let's talk about its super off-road ability. Now it's got the high weighting ability. Now with the design of this high lever air filter intake and CVT intake that it has, and also the exhaust ports. Now the whole vehicle can reach a weighting depth of 720 millimeters, which is considered to be more adaptable to wetlands. Now I don't know how much that is. Let me just convert that real quick in inches. Let's divide that by 10 and 2.54. That's about 28.3 inches of weighting depth on this model right here, right? Now, talking about your all-terrain adaptability, it's got ground clearance of 11 inches like we talked about, and it's got the industry-leading position of the same level, which is pretty good because the price point is super low, but then it's no less when it comes to quality, right? You also have your arched rocker arm for better passing ability, which is pretty good because, see, you want this arms to be arched. Look at that. I don't know if you've noticed, but look at the difference. See what they're talking about. See, with this arch, what happens is you maximize your use of your ground clearance, right? So right here, and you maximize it by like another 2-3 inches. So when it's arched like that, you might have an let's say uneven terrain that's level. It's leveled at this height, but your tires are over here, so that means you can pass through that with this model, but not with the other ones, unfortunately, because they're not arched, right? So that's the whole feature about this arched rocker arm because of your passing ability. I had to talk about that, right? So now it also has front and rear double cross arms, independent suspensions, and then it's got the adjustment of oil and gas hybrid shock absorption, which is pretty decent. It's got the high strength steel wheel. Now aluminum wheel is optional, and it's got off-road all-terrain tires on it, so obviously gives you outstanding road controllability and traction with those kind of tires. Now it's got the four-wheel disc brake system, automotive grade with hydraulic piston calipers. Together with hand and foot combined braking, it makes a sufficient braking because you want a very quick response, because you're out there in the wild, anything can happen, right? So you have to have that kind of control. Now it's got a Bosch system, EFI, electronic fuel injection model right here. That's its computer right there. Now it also gives you power steering. It gives you about like 3.65 meter turning radius, which means you get better maneuverability, right? Now, it's a one-button, push-button, all-wheel drive system, right? It's got two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, dual drive modes. That because a lot of times you have like four-wheel drive all time stuck in four-wheel drive. You might not want that all the time, so it's good to have that, right? So now your four-wheel drive lock differential opens and closes with one key to ensure stable and smooth driving, and obviously a quick escape from difficulties, right? And that's all-wheel drive system for you guys. So it's got a lot of cool features, guys. So I really like that. Like I said, on the winch we talked about, they come in 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, and 4,500 pound options. This one's loaded with the 3,000, but you might end up getting a 2,500 pound winch. It really depends on dealer configuration. So make sure you ask your dealer rep on to see what size winch it has, right? It might make a difference for you to make a decision, All right, so 2,200 pounds of traction. Can use a front tow hook and a rear 2-inch trailer ball to solve the heavy drag at one time, right? So you have your hook in the front and the ball in the back. So you're definitely able to haul, tow, move obstacles out the way. If you got a tree limb on your way, you can definitely move it out, winch it out. Like we talked about, it's got the 1764-pound towing capability, and then it's got 530 pounds of maximum weight capacity. So you and somebody else riding on this model combined weight cannot exceed 530 pounds. That's the manufacturer rating. Maybe 10 pounds more, 10 pounds less might not be a problem, right? Now you also get a maximum load bearing oversized storage bins, like we talked about. You can quickly install that stuff. So Loncin also gives you like options to put like storage in the bag. I'm sorry, in the back rack area, so you can like literally cover this whole area up with the OEM accessories. So they've done a pretty good job at making those as well. So that way, you have all the upgrades you can you know imagine to do with this machine. It's very insulated too. See, look, it's got all these heat shields, insulation material over here, so that way the heat does not reach the passenger, and it's a very good ride quality. Now it also has the LED lights, right? So with high brightness, the light intensity can get up to 5,000 CD. So night driving, you can drive without any fear, right? So all LED lights. Now, we didn't talk about the digital display. Let's look at the display system on this thing, right? There's so much more to talk about this. I feel like I'm not going to run out of words, all right? So when you sit on this thing, right, turn the key. All right, there's your display. Let it calibrate right there. All nice, colorful display. Look at that. All right, I don't know with the glare how much you can see, but it's pretty solid, right? Push button start, light controls over here. Right here, that's your running lights, off, low beam, high beam, push button start, turn signals, which is great. Mirrors, you can adjust for better rear visibility. Horn, I like that. Hazard, kill switch right here. Four-wheel drive selection mode, boom, four-wheel drive. And front and rear locking differential, right? So that's available with this machine. That's its 43 horsepower machine right here with 39 pound-feet of torque. Now look at this thing. So it's got this gear selector. You've got park, reverse, neutral, high, and low. We're in park right now. See how easy it is to shift. Look, I'm not even trying. Look at this. Neutral gear, reverse gear, and it engages. It's not like it's just moving and not engaging, right? Look, one touch, high, engages. Very efficient. I bet some of the Sportsman model Polarises that you pay almost 10 grand for does not shift that way, because we've seen few that are like 2016, 2017 models that we had at the shop before, and they shifted horrible. Sorry to say that, guys, but sometimes, even with the name, you don't get the quality you expect for them. Most of the time you're paying for the name. So, high drive. Now let's whip it around, see how it does, okay? Let me just adjust the mic angle. great turning radius, guys. Oh, it's also got the OPC sensor. That's the occupant. So it senses when somebody's not sitting on it and the engine is still running. That's good for safety, y'all. All right, so we talked about financing. We talked about so many different aspects on this machine. If you guys feel like I left out on certain things, give me a call, 469-669-1313, or drop a comment below. We'll definitely get back with y'all on that. Like I said, financing available, easy financing, a great machine overall. I love this thing. If I were to buy something from my store as far as the compact ATV goes that is all-terrain capable, four-wheel drive, I would go with the Loncin. I don't know if I'm going with the 550 or the 700, but definitely go with the Loncin, man. It got so much. Now, depends. If I'm just using it for regular work, I'll probably go with the 550. If I'm looking to challenge the toughest terrain out there that land has to offer, I'll probably go with the 700. But 550 will get you a job done. It's a crawler. It can literally crawl its